Although we'll now showcase his deck profile.
So start things off for the material deck. We have Spirit of Wind. This is a Wind Tristan deck, so Wind Spirit, quite self-explanatory. And go into the champion, we have Tristan level 1, level 2, and level 3, Shadow Dancer. Why Shadow Dancer and not Shadow Reaver, I'll come to that later in the sideboard because I actually play the Shadow Reaver in the sideboard. Next, we have our Divine Relic, Grand Crusader Ring. So the reason being Grand Crusader Ring is because I feel the one draw is more efficient compared to other stuff like Quicksilver Grill where you protect the Safeguard Amulet. I value the one draw over other things more. And we have more draw power, backup charger, self-explanatory, just another draw. Then we have Blinding Orb. Okay, so why Blinding Orb? Blinding Orb is for you to close the game when you are going against decks that like to hold up their hand. So Blinding Orbs will help you close games against water decks where they have typically like to hold up 3 cards to hold up a negate. So this will just help with finishing the game. Then we have Tariff Ring and Safeguard Amulet. This two is quite self-explanatory in the current meta where Tariff Rings will help you fight against allies. Safeguard is to fight against the current menace of the meta, Water Factor Delchan. And next we have Windwalker Boots. So Windwalker Boots is purely just for you to generate prep. This deck relies on generating prep. So it's one of your prep generators in the game. And also when you have 5 prep, you can crack the boots to draw 1. Next we have Assassin Ripper. This is to combo with Slice and Dice purely just to punish decks who don't like to level up and stay at Spirit. With Slice and Dice and Assassin Ripper, it's raw 15 damage to the champion and it will just take out any deck who doesn't like to level up. And last but not least, we have Shadow Claw. Just extra 1 more damage for your Shadow, so your Shadow swing for 2 every time. So I think it's quite a staple in the deck. Then next we will go on to the main deck. First and foremost, you're playing Tristan, you need prep, so you play 4th Sadi. Sadi is just a good ally for you to clear the board and generate prep at the same time. It should be a 4th in every Tristan deck, in my opinion. Next, 4 copies of Incapacitate. As an assassin, this is your only form of negate, so and the class bonus of it costing 2 less, being 2 cost, is a very good card to run in all assassin decks. So 4th, no brainer. Next, one of the heart and soul of the deck, 3 copies of Slice and Dice. This is for your early push and closing up games without needing to go to level 3 lah. So the whole idea of this deck is just to be aggressive early, farm to 4 prep. You can combo it off with Assassin Ripper and you will just do tons of damage. Next we have 3 copies of Mastermind Scheme. So Mastermind Schemes is for when the games go a bit longer and you need to farm preps, over 20 preps, 30 preps. This is usually for matchups like Wind Ari, Fire Serene Luxemdander where they heal a lot, so you want to do a full 25 damage instead of chipping them where it becomes pointless after a while because they'll just heal back the damage. And last but not least, in the norm cards, we have 3 copies of Dungeon Guide. Why only 3 and not 4 is because this deck, you don't really have to level to 3 most of the time, but when you do, Dungeon Guide comes in handy when you need to. So in my 13 games in Swiss, I think I only level up to level 3 4 times. because all my matchups were aggro matchups, so it was all low level fights. Next up, we'll go to the win cards. 4 copies of Surveill the Winds. This is basically your prep generation, and it's a net neutral card, so every time you cast this, you get a prep, you draw back the card. So it's a staple in Tristan. Next, 4 copies of Fairy Whisper. This is just more digging. Your digging engine helps you draw one, helps you see your deck further. And I think all win decks run at least 4. All the win decks run 4 copies of this. Next, more draw engines. 4 copies of Windmill Engineer. Windmill Engineer, straightforward, just a inbuilt 2 win, draw 1, and it's just a cheap cost ally to play for you to draw cards. Next, we have 4 copies of Reclaim. So Reclaim is for you to cycle your allies such as Windmill Engineer, so that you can reuse the draw effect, so that you can gain a larger hand, or when your opponent swing into your allies, you waste their attack. We have 3 copies of Scatter Essence. This is because the meta is full of fractals right now, so this is your fractal head in the deck. I know some people run more stuff like Mystic Purifier, but I feel that 3 is enough to just slow them down. So, and it's a float, so it helps you level up early also. Next, 3 copies of Stifling Traps. This is to disrupt any on-enter effects that your opponent has, such as cards like Zhang Jiao when they want to draw 3, instead you make them heal. Or Dungeon Guide when the decks are trying to rush up to level 3, you just stop that whole turn. And you gain 1 more turn, then you can just play your game from there. 3 copies of Ascent Protector. So Ascent Protector is the same reasoning as Reclaim, to bring back your Windmill Engineer, and because it's a 3 attack 4 health ally, it is for damage pushing against low level decks where they doesn't like to level up. So this is more of your aggro cards. Also, it being 4 health is pretty hard to clear in my opinion. Next, 3 copies of Black Market Broker. So for Black Market Broker is another prep generating ally. Also it gains stealth with 3 prep. So why is this good is because it's pretty hard to clear stealth if you don't have any spells in your deck. So it's one of your other sticky bodies which help you close the game, push the game closer to your finishing attacks. Next, 3 copies of Dream Fairy. Dream Fairy is purely here just to fight with Senjus, especially win Surveill. Once you get rid of the dragon, most of the time you win. So this is for the Senju matchups. And also for fire aggro, when they turn one after you, your answer with Dream Fairy, they are cooked. Next, 3 Veiling Breeze, your defense of the deck. So this is just for you to prevent stuff from hitting you. For example, now a lot of people run Staggering Strike just to remove your prep. If you can Veiling for 3, you prevent that from happening. So yeah, that's good. Next, 2 copies of Ensnaring Fumes. So Fumes is also for the Senju matchup, or else if the games goes longer, Fumes can be one of your cards to bring back all your allies to your hand and reuse them. So for Fumes, it's very good against Senjus because they cannot lineage release their level 2 to stop it, because it's not a targeted effect. And it's a float. So second last cards for the win is 2 copies of Zephr. So Zephr helps with protecting your Regalias, protecting your allies. Like when you Dream Fairy, they try to stifling the Dream Fairy, Zephr away the Dream just to ensure the effect comes into play and whatnot. Last but not least, 1 copy of Innovate Agility. So Innovate Agility, why I run 1 is because I probably don't want to see 2 copies of this in my whole game. Normally when I have to cast Innovate, I think I'm losing most of the time, but sometimes you can use this offensively where you can go back from 1 to 0 when you lack 1 prep to just level up again into your finisher. And last but not least, for the Umbra cards, 1 copy of Penumbra Orbs. This can be used both defensively and aggressively, where if you remove 3 or more prep, you can summon 2 more shadows. So with your level 3 Shadow Dancer, you will have 4 shadows. And just with the normal Shadow Claw attack, that is easily 9 damage to put onto your opponent. But defensively, it's just for the damage prevention. And last but not least, 3 copies of Shadow Strike. So this is your other finisher when you go to the Umbra side of your deck, where the game goes longer and you need more prep and a higher damage count. Shadow Strike is your card to win. Now to the sideboard. So for my sideboard, I run a 4 Regalia sideboard. Reason being, because I'm a bit lazy, I don't really want to think, so I run 4 Regalias instead of what people usually run with multiple deck cards. So first I run Varian Protective Trinket. This is for your water matchups, especially Diao-Chan where they have tons of resources. This is to make sure that they can't triple negate you, double negate you, that kind of shit, that kind of stuff. Next, Nonifying Mirror. This is 100% for the wind matchups and to fight Luxem Zender where they use Zender effect to make you put your cards down. You can tap Nonifying Mirror just to not put cards down so that you can interact during their turn. Quicksilver Grill in my sideboard. So this Quicksilver Grill in the sideboard is only for 1 matchup, Water Factor Diao-Chan or Ari. It's to protect my Safeguard Amulet behind so that they can't fracturize it or they can't unstable factor the Safeguard. However, you can also use the Safeguard Amulet offensively by hiding Assassin Reapers when you can close the game earlier, where you don't want to banish wrongly your memory before you go to recollection. And last of the 4 Regalias is Shadow River. So Shadow River is for 2 matchups in this meta. One is Win Ari, where the games get long and you want to steal the top 4 cards. Reason being because they have most of their cards in their decks are draw cards, so it benefits you no matter what. Against Luxem Zender as well, you could use every single thing in their deck to just help you gain value. So this only comes in against 2 matchups so far I played, which is Luxem Zender and Win Ari. Then last of my sideboard, 3 copies of Resolute Stand. Why Resolute Stand and not Slam Shield where people will want more win count is because I feel Resolute Stand protects you for the whole turn, especially where the meta is full of fire aggro. Resolute Stand is essentially like a direct ring where no damage goes through you unless they hit above 3. So I think it's pretty value. So basically for my sideboard, the Resolute Stand is 100% always swapped out with Scatter Essence. So for matchups which there are no Fantasia, I will bring in Resolute Stand. With matchups there is Fantasia, I will just keep the Scatter Essence, that's all. Then for the Regalias, quite straightforward. QSG is for this Grand Crusader's ring because you can only have 1 Divine Relic in the deck. Mirror will come out against Luxem Zender where you will take out Tarif ring because they don't have allies to push. Water Trinket will be for Tarif ring because against Diao-Chan, the only allies they have normally is Frostborn and Sunshell. Then for Shadow River, it depends. Against Win Ari, I'll take out Tarif. Then for Zender, I will take out Blinding Orb. Yeah.